Yo guys, what up? Austin here, or Bebop Prism. As you can tell by the title and thumbnail, I have a pretty good story for you today. Let's get straight into it. So this all takes place when I was like 14. At this time, I was a pretty well behaved kid. I never really got grounded or anything. I just didn't do lots of crazy stuff. I never did drugs. I didn't really sneak out. I didn't get in trouble much at this time. Now, also at 14, I lived with my mom. And I have a lot of stories involving mom, but those are for another story time down the road. My family lived in a small town in rural Idaho. Essentially, there's nothing to do out there as a high school freshman, and I was pretty fucking bored this day. Now, this all takes off in spring of 2021. I had just gotten out of lockdown, COVID had started to calm down, and so did the rest of my town getting out of lockdown. And I think it was about June, if I remember right. It was like June, maybe May. I had like just barely gotten out of school. And it was like near the end of the school year and I was about summertime. Now, I remember it was specifically a Friday because there was nothing going on this weekend. I had literally nothing to do. So me, being a 14-year-old bored-ass kid and having nothing planned, I tried to plan something. I hit up all my friends. One by one, they all said no. Now, like, keep in mind, it's like 7 or 8 at this time, and nobody's really, like, able to hang out past that time. Especially since, like, dinner's around 7 or 8 for most people at that time. But I held out hope. No homies were free, unfortunately. So I just decided to do something by myself. My plan B was going into action. This plan B, particularly, was a very stupid plan. I was going to sneak out at midnight, buy a soda down at the Maverick, and come home. Now, don't do that. You can get in a lot of trouble. You can get, like, a record for this. You can get, like, caught by the cops. Like, this is a big thing that you should not do. But me being 14 and impulsive, I waited until about 11:30. Before I started to get ready to sneak out, I waited for my mom to go to her room, which she did at about like 10. And about an hour and a half later, it's 11:30. So I grab my clothes, get new clothes on, I get my shoes on, grab my headphones, my house key, my wallet, my phone, and my skateboard. After getting all of that shit ready and ready to go, I went downstairs to the couch and sat and waited till about midnight. Now, my mom's room is right above the front door I was sneaking out of. So I had to wait in the living room before leaving to make sure I heard no footsteps or movement in her bed so I could know she was asleep. After about 10 minutes, the clock struck midnight. Go time, baby! I swiftly and quietly opened the front door and closed it behind me, making sure to not open it too wide so that I didn't get the loud creaking of it. After successfully sneaking out the door, I go back to the trail that leads to the main road, which actually goes through the rodeo and the skate park to get to where I wanted to go, which was just Maverick, like I said. This trail, as I'm going through the skate park, I decide, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna hang out here, I'm gonna kick it here. It may be like pitch black, but like that's even better cover for me. Like there's not gonna be cops looking for me if it's pitch black and there's nothing going on. So I hung out there about 15 minutes, started texting friends again, seeing if anyone was like sneaking out too, and the answer was obviously not. So I just started skating and walking to the Maverick again. Now, about 3/4 of the way there, there's this other gas station. I think it's like some old Chevron. They keep changing the name. I'm pulling up fast to this gas station, going pretty fast, and as I'm like skating on the sidewalk, I start getting a smell. A faint yet very strong smell. The smell was very skunk like, but it smelt more earthy than a skunk, more plant like than a skunk. Now, me being 14, never have smelling any marijuana in any point in time in my life, I thought, I just won't piss off my local skunk. It might be a dead skunk, someone might have hit it. Like, I'm just thinking, there's nothing illegal going on, it's just a fucking skunk. But oh well, my dumbass learns very rapidly that it probably wasn't a skunk. I start to pass the gas station completely, and it's getting stronger. The closer I get to this Maverick, the stronger this smell is getting. Now, I'm glad I kept my eyes peeled because I saw a police cruiser on my side of the road at the very crosswalk I needed to cross. I knew in the back of my head that this cop was going to stop me, so I just was like preparing for it mentally. I get to the crosswalk, push the button, and wait to cross. Well, almost immediately after I push the button, the cop proceeds to exit his cruiser and say, "Hey man, when you passed my window, I got a very strong smell of marijuana. Can you come here so I can search you?" And I said, "Yes, officer, no problem." The cop pulls me to the front of his cruiser, spreads my legs after emptying my pockets, and pats me down, and he's searching me. He finds nothing else except for the 5 items I had: the skateboard, headphones, wallet, keys, phone. And this cop says to me, "Yeah, sorry to search you, but there's been a lot of kids smoking weed around here. It's becoming a big problem." Which I reply with, "Oh, really? Yeah, I don't do drugs, man. Shit's bad for you. I can see how you'd react the way you did, though." The cop then says, "Yeah, man, it's a big issue around here recently." Then he asked me, "By the way, how old are you?" And I responded very truthfully, very accurately. And I said, "Oh, I'm 14 years old." And this cop immediately goes pale. He says, "Look, man, since you're mostly law abiding tonight, I'm going to let you go off with a warning for being out past curfew. I have to go. Good night." And he peeled out of there rather quickly. Like, surprisingly quickly. I assume he just got a call on his radio or something. Or he knew he shouldn't be searching a 14-year-old without parents present. But, either way, I got really lucky. I go to the Maverick right after. As I'm walking in, I pass this Volkswagen yellow Beetle car. It was a very pretty Beetle car. Like, this was like a very nice car that had been renewed and renovated over years, right? But it was definitely still like a 70s car. Now, not only was it a 70s car, it smelled heavily of the 70s. And by 70s, I mean skunk. I mean, that was a fucking. That car was used to hotbox 7 times in the past 4 days, level of skunk. Like, that shit was horrible. That was where the smell was coming from. And I walk in and I start talking to this random lady in the gas station. We'll call her Anna. I approach this lady, Anna, and say, "Hey, have you smelt that smell out there?" And Anna goes, "Yeah, actually, I have to drive in it. My daughter went to Oregon and smoked marijuana. I told her not to smoke in my car, but as you can tell, she totally smoked in my car." Which I tell her, "Well, I just got searched because of the smell. Some cop just let me go with a warning for breaking curfew and left rather quickly." And when I tell you this lady felt so bad, I mean, she felt so bad that she repeatedly apologized, offered to buy my soda, and like, she offered to buy me a few snacks too. And I just kept politely saying, "No, no, I shouldn't be sneaking out anyways. I look pretty suspicious out there in the dark." Like, I knew like this was my own fault that I was doing this, even though like partially it was her fault for having the car there. I get to this point where I'm like, it's not your fault specifically. Like, you didn't actively frame me, like you didn't try to do that. And so I buy my soda. She leaves rapidly because she doesn't want to get anyone else in trouble. And I leave and I go home too and play video games the rest of the night afterwards because the rest of the events home were pretty uneventful. It was just me skating back, going in the front door. It was pretty uneventful. Now, looking back, I could have gotten like something on my record. I could have been like having my mom called. I could have been like in a lot of fucking trouble. Luckily, I didn't. Moral of the story is, do not sneak out. Shit like this will happen, and shit like this will get you in trouble. I was very lucky and didn't get in trouble. If you're watching these videos that I'm like recording for you to like have entertainment from and thinking, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I'm gonna copy that." Fucking don't. just don't. It's not safe, especially if you're 14. Like, just don't break the rules. Be a good kid. Like, genuinely, it's a lot better. The moments in these stories in real life actually really suck to be in. Like, you have panic attacks and shit. Like, you're freaking out. Like, it's not fun. Do not do what I did. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. Peace out.